Coulomb's law. So as we discussed yesterday, two charges. This is of charge Q1 and this is of charge Q2. These two are separated by distance R. Now according to Coulomb's, the force of attraction or repulsion between these two charges. Whether this force is attractive or repulsive depends on nature of the charges. If these two are like charges, repulsive force. If these two are unlike charges, attractive force. The force of attraction or repulsion between the charges is direct proportional to product of magnitudes of their charges. So modulus of Q1, modulus of Q2. That means modulus means magnitude. Magnitude of charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between the charges. The force of attraction or repulsion between the charges is direct proportional to product of the magnitude of the charges and inverse proportional to square of the distance between the two charges. So as if these two are point charges, we can take directly these are this is the distance between the charges. And what is point charge? Yesterday we already discussed. Now if charges are lying on sphere of radius r, so this is our charge Q1 is lying on this sphere, and this is another sphere on this of radius r. On this Q2 charge is present. Now, distance in this case, distance between the two charges can be taken as distance between centers of the two charges. Centers of the, so that means center of spheres of the two charges, because the total entire charge of the sphere is supposed to be concentrated at the center. Like that we can consider, and we will measure this distance from center to center. Okay. So sometimes while solving the numerical, radius of the sphere they will give. For example, radius of the sphere is 10 centimeter. As this is also 10 centimeter, then sometimes they will give only distance between the spheres. So these two spheres are separated by distance 30 centimeter. 30 centimeter. So as distance is given 30 centimeter, we should not take 30 centimeter as radius, because distance must be measured from centers of the two spheres, because the entire charge is supposed to be concentrated at the center of the sphere. From center to center we should calculate the distance. Okay. So in this equation, the distance between these two spheres must be center to center. That means 10 centimeter, 30 centimeter, then plus 10 centimeter, total 50 centimeter we should take it as distance between the charges. Okay. In this case, this point we should consider, and we have to measure the distance between the two spheres like that. Okay. This is one of the exemption case related to this one while considering or while taking distance. Okay. Right. So this is the statement of Coulomb's law. Okay, so from this we can write by removing this proportionality, we can make some constant k into modulus of Q1. We can simply write magnitude as Q1, and this is Q2 by r square. This is the expression for the force of attraction between and the force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges. So we are not considering the type of the force, which may be attractive or repulsive force. That depends on nature of the charges. By giving nature of the charges, how this force direction and all will be present, that we will give in the form of vector form of Coulomb's law. So like that we will discuss separately as a one point, vector form of Coulomb's law. There we can represent the direction of the force along with the sign of the charges and whether it is attractive or repulsive forces. Okay. So this force in general we can take it as either attractive or repulsive force. Then what is K? This K value depends on the value of K depends on medium between the charges, medium between the charges, and the units in which Q1, Q2, R and F are measured. The value of k depends on medium between the charges, medium between the charges, and also units in which these values f charges and distances are measured in which units. Based on that units, the value of k will depends. The value of k will depends. Now, if two charges placed in vacuum, so in general, air or vacuum like that we can say. Strictly speaking, we can take a vacuum. Okay. If two charges are placed in vacuum, we can write the value of k as k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is permittivity of medium. So that means this is a parameter which is describing about medium. That means whether that medium is allowing the field of the electric field or not. Electric field or not. That means whether the material is electrified or not. We can know by the parameter called permittivity. So this is the property of the material. Simply taking this is property of the medium. Property of the medium. Okay. That's k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay. No doubt. The value of k depends on medium between the charges and also units in which charges and distance and force are measured. If two charges are placed in vacuum, the k value we can take it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now, the value of k we can express in units. In SI units, k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, which is equal to, you see from this expression, we can write the value of k as f into r square by q1 q2. So k value we can write here, k is equal to f r square by q1 q2. So for force SI system, we are taking as SI system. For force Newton, for distance meter, for charges Coulomb. Okay. Now this value is 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square by Coulomb square. So the value of k in SI system is, SI units is 9 into 10 power of 9 Newton meter square by Coulomb square. When force is measured in Newton, distance is measured in meter, charges are measured in Coulomb, then the value of k is 9 into 10 power of 9. When the charges are placed in air or vacuum. So strictly speaking, vacuum. Next. In CGS units, k is equal to, so 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, which is equal to 9 into 10 power of 9 into, so in CGS unit means force must be measured in dyne. Force must be measured in. So 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power of 5 dyne. 1 Newton is 10 to the power of 5 dyne into meter, centimeter, 100 centimeter. This is meter square means 10 to the power of 4 centimeter square by Coulomb is the SI unit of charge. What is the, in this case, the charges are placed in a static position, rest position. So we can take electrostatic unit of electric charge. What is electrostatic unit of electric charge is stat coulomb. So now 1 coulomb is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 9 stat coulombs. So now we can write 3 into 10 to the power of 9 whole square stat coulomb square. Stat coulomb square. So 1 coulomb is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 9 stat coulombs. 1 coulomb square. So it is square. Now you see this is 9, 10 to the power of 9, 10 to the power of 5, 10 to the power of 4, 9, 10 to the power of 18. Now this is 3 square, 9, 10 to the power of 9 into 2, 18. So 9 into 10 to the power of 18, 9 into 10 to the power of 18. The total will get cancelled. then we can write the value of K is equal to 1 dyne centimeter square by stat coulomb square. So now when force, distance and charges are measured in CGS unit. So like that they will give the question. When force, distance and are measured in CGS units. CGS units. Now we can take force F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 by R square. When remaining all are measured in CGS units, then we can write directly F is equal to Q1 Q2 by R square. No need to take this value of K because K is equal to 1. Okay, they won't give force is measured in dyne. These are measured in distance is measured in centimeter, coulombs measured in charge is measured in stat coulomb, not like that. So simply give they are representing in CCS unit. So while they are measuring in CCS unit, then there is no need of taking this 9 into 10 power of 9. So 9 into 10 power of 9 we should take only when these force, distance and charges are measured in SI units. SI units. So without taking this point into consideration, if you are going to do the numerical means, always many students will substitute the value of K is always 9 into 10 power of 9. So they won't get clarity about these units and all. Because many times, most of the time, they will ask the question in SI system. But if they want to ask somewhat critically, that means somewhat logically, if they want to ask means, simply they will give force, charges and distance are measured in CGS units. Then we should take K is equal to 1. Is equal to 1. That is the exemptional case we should remember as a point. So this is in old in JIPMER, like that one time they asked a question based on this CGS units. K is equal to 1. So NEET examination so far they not asked any question on like this, but in one time JIPMER they asked the question on this CGS units of K value. Okay, so force is K into Q1 Q2 by R square. What is the value of K? K is representing medium parameter that based on medium and units. The value of K is like this. We can represent. Okay, right. So is it completed?
Fine.
Oh, right. Now we can write the expression for force. F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. This is the force of attraction or repulsion between the charges. Now, characteristics of Coulomb force or electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. Here, Coulomb's law is valid only for static charges and point charges. Static charges and point charges. Okay, what are the characteristics of these this Coulomb's force or electrostatic force? Right. First one, electrostatic force or Coulomb force is either attractive or repulsive. Electrostatic force is either attractive or repulsive. So this we can compare with Newton's force. That means Newton's law of gravitation, gravitational force. Gravitational force is always an attractive force. Whereas electrostatic force or Coulomb force is either attractive or repulsive force. Right. Next step. Second point. Electrostatic force is a central force. Electrostatic force is a central force. How can we say that what is meant by central force? For example, this is Q1 charge and this is Q2 charge. This is line joining the centers of the two charges. Now, if this is these are positive charges, for example, like charges, these are like charges plus plus, for example, plus plus. Now, this will exert a repulsive force on this. That means in this direction. There is force on one, force on two, force on second charge due to first charge. F21 is directed in this direction, right? So this charge will repel by this one in this direction. Force exerted on one due to two is acting in this direction. Now these two forces are along the line joining centers of the two charges. Centers of the two charges. So if any force is acting along the line joining center of the two charges or two masses is known as central force. Gravitational force is also a central force. Gravitational force is also a central. So in the case of gravitational force, we can take F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. Whereas an attractive force, we can write always an attractive force, we can take like that. In the same way, for example, this is plus Q1, this is minus Q2, unlike charges. This is the line joining centers of the two charges. Okay, now this is Q1 charge, this is minus Q2. So minus Q2 will attract this charge. That means in this direction. This is force on 1 due to 2. Due to 2. In the same way, Q2 charge is attracted by Q1 charge in this direction. This is force on 2 due to 1. So this is also acting, the forces are also acting along the direction of line joining the centers of the two charges. So if any force is acting along the line joining centers of the charges is known as central force. So electrostatic force is a central force. Gravitational force is also a central force. Whereas electrostatic force is either attractive or repulsive, but gravitational force is always an attractive force. An attractive force. Right. Now, third one. Electrostatic force obey Newton's third law of motion. What it means, we can write F bar 1 2 modulus is equal to F2 1 bar modulus. Equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. F1 means Q1 Q2 by K into Q1 Q2 by R square. F2 also Q1 Q2 by R square. Both are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. That means net force is equal to 0. That is obeys Newton's third law of motion. Because of central force, how it is acting, it is also follows Newton's third law. That means Coulomb's law obeys Newton's third law of motion. Right, next point. Electrostatic force is a conservative force. So in the chapter of work energy power, in the first year, you have the conservative force. What is by conservative force? The work done by the force does not depend on path followed by the body. It depends only on initial and final positions of a body is known as conservative force. So now conservative force we can define as negative of potential energy gradient. While discussion of mechanical properties of solids, we discussed about this conservative force again. Okay, so electrostatic force is a conservative force. So gravitational force is a conservative force. Electrostatic force is a conservative force. Spring force is a conservative force. Elastic forces, spring force or elastic forces, we can call it as same. Elastic forces, these are all conservative force. When work is done by the conservative force, that work done can be stored in the form of energy of your body. That means, for example, work done against the gravity will be stored in the form of gravitational potential energy when a body is at above the surface of the ground. But burdened by the non-conservative force will convert it into other forms of energy. For example, frictional force. So frictional force is a non-conservative force. Burdened by the frictional force can be converted to in the form of heat energy. That will not store energy in the energy. It will waste it. It will convert into other forms of energy. So from that we can identify whether the force is conservative or non-conservative force. Viscous force or backward dragging force. Air, because air will opposes opposition force to the flow of to the moving of the bodies through the air medium. So those are all viscous force, frictional force. Those are all non-conservative forces. Non-conservative force. So similarity between gravitational force and electrostatic forces. Electrostatic force is either attractive or repulsive, but gravitational force is only attractive. Electrostatic force and gravitational force both are central forces. Next, both are obeying Newton's law of motion. Electrostatic force and gravitational force both are conservative forces. Conservative forces. And next point. So this is a very important point. Electrostatic force depends on medium between the charges. Electrostatic force depends on medium between the charges. Whereas gravitational force does not depend on the medium between the charges. For example, if two masses are present in medium, m1, m2, if it is if these are placed in vacuum, gravitational force is F. If these two masses are placed in water, gravitational force is same. If they are placed in some oil, gravitational force is same. So gravitational force does not depend on the medium between the two masses. Is independent on medium between the masses. But whereas electrostatic force depends on the medium between the charges. Medium between the charges. Then how we can represent this one is if epsilon naught is permittivity of vacuum. Permittivity of vacuum. Now, if you are placing these charges in any medium of relative permittivity or permittivity epsilon, then we can write force between this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon. In the place of epsilon naught, we have taken epsilon. What is epsilon? Epsilon is permittivity of medium. Whatever the medium, like oil, water. So they will give permittivity of that particular medium. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon now. Epsilon Q1, Q2 by R square. Now we have to identify how the medium is responding to the original medium. So we will introduce a concept that is called relative permittivity, that is represented by epsilon suffix r. Epsilon suffix r is known as relative permittivity, which is equal to permittivity of medium by permittivity of vacuum or air. Strictly speaking, we should take it as vacuum. Air or vacuum in general is. If there is a particular question about air and vacuum, permittivity of air is somewhat slightly greater than permittivity of vacuum. In general, we will take it as the same, but if the specifically mentioned means permittivity of air is somewhat slightly greater than permittivity of vacuum. Okay, relative permittivity. This is also we can represent with the dielectric constant. This is represent also with K. Okay, so this K is different. This K is different. That what we are taking now K, this is different. So this is called dielectric constant. Because in some textbooks they will represent with the symbolic representation like this only. Otherwise we can take any other symbol, but they are giving most of the cases they are giving represented with K only. That's the reason we are mentioning. Okay. Okay, that K is proportionally constant. This K is dielectric constant. Now we can write this is force in medium, right? force. So that implies force in medium is equal to 1 by 4 pi. In the place of epsilon, from this relation, in the place of epsilon, we can write epsilon r into epsilon naught. So epsilon r into epsilon naught. So Q1 Q2 by r square. This we can write epsilon r is nothing but k, 1 by k, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, Q1 Q2 by r square. So this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, Q1 Q2 by r square, this is known as force between the charges when they are placed in vacuum. So we can write F medium is equal to F vacuum by K. Based on this, they asked the previous NEET question. Okay, so two charges are placed in vacuum. The force between the charges is F. Now these two charges are placed in oil of dielectric constant K is equal to 2. K is equal to 2. Then what is the force? What is the force? So force F dash is equal to F. F dash is equal to F by 2. F dash is equal to 2F. F dash is equal to 3F. Okay, K value 2. This is F by 2. This is the option. That is previous NEET question. Okay, so then what happens when the charges are placed in medium of electric constant K, the force is decreases by K times. Force is decreases by K times. So F medium is equal to F vacuum by K. No doubt. Okay, after 10 minutes you have to join again. So gravitational force is independent on medium, whereas electrostatic forces depends on medium. So what happens when charges are placed in a medium of electric constant K, then force is decreases by K times. Force is decreased by K times. If charges are placed in a medium of electric constant K, the force between the charges decreases by K times. Okay, that's all. So these are the important points regarding characteristics of Coulomb force. Okay, right. Now coming to vector form. Vector form of Coulomb's law. As usual, we already discussed earlier in the case of central force. These are two charges. This is Q1 and this is Q2. This is plus charge and this is also plus. This is line joining centers of the two charges. Okay. Now we can imagine to represent direction of the force, we need to imagine a unit vector that is R12 cap. R12 cap. So R12 cap is a unit vector directed from charge 12 towards charge 2. R12 cap is a unit vector. Direction is along from charge 1 to charge 2. In the same way, R21 cap is a unit vector. Unit vector means it has magnitude is 1, but it has an arbitrary direction. Direction of the R12 is nothing but from 1 to 2, whereas 2 to 1 is represented by R21 cap. R21 cap. Now you see, force on 2 due to 1 is acting in this direction. This is force on 2 due to 1. So force on 2 due to 1 in this direction. That means this is the along direction of the R12 cap. R12 cap. That means F21 bar is equal to, if these two are placed in vacuum, F21 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square into R12 cap. F21 bar is directed along direction of the R12 cap. R12 cap. So what type of force is this? Repulsive force. Repulsive force is positive. Repulsive force is positive. That means unit vector distance we are measuring from 1 to 2 means this also we can represent with R12 square. R12 square into R12 cap. And also we know unit vector A cap is equal to A bar by modulus of A bar. A vector is divided by its magnitude, then you will get a unit vector. Basic thing related to vector notation. So this is unit vector is probably vector by its magnitude. Now this we can represent with the F21 bar is equal to plus is representing repulsive force. So plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12 cube into R12 bar. This is R12 cap unit vector. So this unit vector we are representing with the vector by its magnitude. So magnitude into magnitude. This is R, this is R square. R into R square, R cube. R into R square, R cube. This is representation. So one time in the AIIMS examination, they given which of the following is the force of attraction or repulsion. So they given equation in the options. Equations in the options with the R12 cap or R21 cap or like that they will represent. So you should identify the formula, that's all. Okay, so that type of question they asked in previous examination. So based on vector form, just we should identify the force expression. So F21 bar is directed along direction of R12 cap. If these two charges are like charges, this is a repulsive force. This is a plus q or minus q. Like charges means repulsive force. Repulsive force is positive. Okay. Right. This is R12 cap, R12 square, R12 bar, R12 cube. That also we should remember. We should identify very clearly. So this is unit vector. This is vector. Okay, right. If you want means you say, then I will stop. I will give time for note down. Is it completed? Completed. Right. Now we'll take unlike charges. This is Q1. This is minus Q2. R12 cap like this, R21 cap like this. Okay. Now this is force on 2 due to 1. This is force on 1 due to 2. Now you see force on 1, 2 or 2, 1. For example, you can take as we are taking F21 here. F21 bar is equal to, so 1 to 2 1, how they are opposite. That means we can write R12 cap is equal to minus R21 cap. Both are in opposite direction. Now we can say 2 1 1 2 are opposite. Now we can write minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square into R12 cap. Why are getting minus here? Why are getting minus here? This is in opposite direction. Opposite direction. That means otherwise we can represent with R21 is along direction of the R21 cap. So for example, we can not representing this one. Sign we are not representing means F21 is along direction of the R21 cap. R21 cap. Like this we can represent, or otherwise F21 bar is equal to minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square into R12 cap. Because in the case of R21, in the place of R21, we can substitute minus R12 cap. Minus R12 cap. That means this is minus is representing, this is an attractive force. There is an attractive force. So based on the, so by seeing equation, we can identify direction of the forces based on situation. So sometimes this is positive and this is negative, or this is positive and this is negative. Whatever may be the signs they given, we can follow according to the directions of the force and the unit vector. Okay. So this is vector form of Coulomb's law. Okay. So 2